Hello, students. Today we will learn a new poem, and that is Sonnet 73, written by William Shakespeare. William Shakespeare is a greatest English dramatist and a poet who needs no introduction. He is best known for his plays Hamlet, Othello, Macbeth, King Lear, Romeo and Juliet, Merchant of Venice, etc. And he has written 154 sonnets, of which the first 126 are dedicated to Mr. W.H., his young friend and patron, about whom there is much speculation, though little is known. The remaining 28 sonnets are dedicated to the mysterious dark lady. The sonnet for our present study is the 73rd sonnet, one of Shakespeare's most famous one. That time of year thou mayst in me behold, when yellow leaves, or none, or few, do hang upon those boughs which shake against the cold, bare ruined choirs where late the sweet birds sang. In the first stanza, the lyrical voice constructs a metaphor in order to characterize the nature of old age. Throughout these first lines, the lyrical voice it relates old age to a particular time of the year. First, old age is portrayed as autumn where yellow leaves or none or few do hang. Now, here it suggests that aging is similar to the moment of the year when the leaves have almost completely fallen, the weather is cold, and the birds left their branches. Now, this metaphor it emphasizes the harshness and emptiness of old age. This can be read especially when the voice says that boughs shake against the cold and bear ruined choirs. So here the sonnet 73 it portrays the lyrical voice's anxieties towards aging, and in this particular stanza this seems to be implying that autumn is the particular time of the year when death occurs. So moreover it compares his aging process to nature and particularly to the season of autumn. In me thou seest the twilight of such day, as after sunset fadeth in the west, which by and by black night doth take away death's second self that seals up all in rest. In the second stanza, the writer he compares the process of aging to the twilight. Now, as the voice it feels troubled about aging, he or she uses another metaphor to describe how he or she feels towards old age. Now, here it says that the old age is similar to the twilight as it can be seen in him or her. The line, in me thou seest the twilight of such day. Then a particular scenario is described where the sun fades as after sunset fadeth in the west, and night approaches, which by and by black night doth take away. Now, this metaphor emphasizes the gradual fading of youth as the twilight shifts to night by and by. So, notice that in the final line, death is directly related to this particular time of the day. Death's second self, and it is described as the one that brings eternal rest, seals up all in the rest. As in the first stanza, these lines portray aging as the end of a cycle. So, in the previous stanza, this cycle is represented by the different natural seasons, and in this stanza, the cycle is represented by the moments of the day. In me thou seest the glowing of such fire, that on the ashes of his youth doth lie as the death bed whereon it must expire, consumed with that which it was nourished by. Now, in the third stanza, he compares him or herself to ashes. Now, the lyrical voice, it mentions that there are remains of fire in him or her. In me thou seest the glowing of such fire that on the ashes of his youth doth lie. So here, this fire, it represents youth, and according to the writer, it will soon be consumed. Again, this metaphor shows the lyrical voice's troubled thoughts about aging. So, notice that it emphasizes on the consummation of this fire, that is, as the deathbed whereon it must expire, consumed with that which it was nourished by. This thou perceivest, which makes thy love more strong, to love that well which thou must leave ere long. And in the final couplet, the voice defines a purpose. So he notices that his or her love for his or her significant other grows stronger as he or she ages and despite of the old age. So the couplet addresses this young unnamed man from the fair youth sequence. The lyrical voice tells this young man to strengthen his love and to understand everything that he or she has said throughout the stanzas. There's a line, this thou perceives, which makes thy love more strong. Now, the possibility of dying, the old age, emphasizes the need to love even more than before, to love that well, taking into account that he or the loved one could soon part away from the world. Though the poem focuses on the uncompromising movement of time towards death, this natural process is not presented as a negative thing. Instead, the poem ultimately shows that moving toward a definite end or definite ending can create the kind of intense feeling that gives life meaning.